Hello and welcome to The Voluntarist. We've discussed the importance of the price system in previous videos and how it can only exist in the presence of mutually beneficial exchanges, which implies there is no coercion forcing people away from their preferred interactions. The second you introduce force into the equation, you've immediately distorted market prices to reflect less desirable and even unwanted decisions by individuals in the market. In this video, I'd like to discuss one such method of coercing people, namely price controls. Price controls are any mechanism by which a central authority attempts to force the selling price of an item to be whatever amount they have decided is most helpful in achieving their desired ends. For example, price floors were used to prevent people from charging under a certain amount for goods and services during the Great Depression. The government thought that by keeping prices artificially high, they could force people into spending more money, thus jump-starting the economy. Another example is the price ceilings on housing by which the state attempts to make housing more accessible to low-income families by forcing property owners to rent at a rate no higher than the mandated amount. First, I will address the price floors. If the market price is something lower than a price floor, this means that the demand is not great enough to warrant the current supply. In other words, there is a surplus. In the case of the Great Depression, many people had very little money to spare, so a great many items needed to fall in price dramatically. By preventing the price from falling, the most immediate effect is that the price stays too high for people who would otherwise be able to afford it, thus depriving them of their ability to purchase the good or service which would have remained intact in the absence of coercion. Also, if a business can't charge a price that will garner desirable sales numbers and profits, they have little incentive to remain in business unless they're confident that market prices will soon exceed the price floor mandate. So price floors were a really bad idea if the desired result was a faster economic recovery during the Great Depression. However, price ceilings are far more common than price floors. The state often lets inflation run away with prices because they have a tendency to blow up their own money supply and debase their own currency. So we actually see ceilings quite often. In many cities, legislatures have imposed limits to how much people can charge for rent. Ultimately, this leads to a shortage caused by apartment owners letting their now unprofitable apartment fall into disrepair and leaving the business altogether. Eventually, the area becomes a slum. And because the housing market in the area has become so unprofitable, people stop investing in that industry, causing slowed economic growth. I'll finish off with an example from the Mises Institute. In the 16th century, price controls decided the fate of Antwerp, the most important city of today's Belgium. From 1584, it was besieged by Spanish forces led by the Duke of Parma. The city fathers of Antwerp fixed maximum prices for food, with severe penalties. As a consequence, no merchant would risk ships to serve this, and the city has placated itself better than the Duke of Parma could have done. The enforced low prices didn't force anybody to economize, and the city lived in high spirits until all provisions gave out at once. In 1585, the city of Antwerp surrendered. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it to be informative or at the very least entertaining, please leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.